Hey everybody, how's it going? It's me, Brandon, back again with another episode, and today we're going to be talking about the Valve Steam Deck, and especially how this plays with fighting games. Fighting games are some of my favorite video games. They are evergreen, and I love to play a bunch of different titles. And my fighting game library on Steam is one of my favorite things to keep adding to whenever a new game comes out or whatever looks interesting. So I really wanted to make a video on fighting games with the Steam Deck. How does it hold up? Can it use fight sticks? How's the docking experience? Do the games run? We will be talking about all of that in this video today. So stay tuned, here we go, let's get into fighting with my Steam Deck. When I first saw the Steam Deck, it blew my mind. The possibilities of the games it can play and more had me so excited. But the first thought that popped into my mind was Tekken on the go. When it comes to Steam, one of my favorite things about my collection is fighting games. Fighting games are the type of games that are evergreen. And what I mean by this is how they are pick up and play friendly and can be the perfect time eater in specific situations. The thought of my Steam fighting games was initially the reason I wanted a Steam Deck. I could have the higher quality game and have it portable and dockable too. I was so excited. And that only increased with the idea of how to connect fight sticks and other controllers to the Steam Deck, allowing the Steam Deck to quickly become a fighting game machine. If it can produce the same quality of a console on the go, it had me so excited. So today, I'm presenting you with this video of my time with the Steam Deck and fighting games. The first thing I noticed with the Steam Deck and my fighting games is the key on the Steam games. The key lets you know if they're playable. Most of my Steam fighting game library came up with not playable. This concerned me, but I still downloaded and tested them to receive mixed results. So let's talk about my experience with these games, starting with Injustice: Gods Among Us. When I installed this game a month or two ago, this was not playable, but now it works. There's some stutter with the gameplay, but aside from that, it runs at a smooth 60 frames. It was amazing to play a version of Mortal Kombat 9 at full fidelity. As a supporter of the PS Vita, MK9 was one of my favorite games on the system, and here we are years later playing it portably in its best form. Mortal Kombat 10 is also fully playable on the Steam Deck, and I would also love to try out Mortal Kombat 11, but that memory is simply just too big to download. So if you're at home and you do want to try MK10 and MK11 on the Steam Deck if you don't want to natively download, you can go ahead and stream it from your PC to your Steam Deck if you would like. Sometimes this feature works, sometimes it does not, but it's still an option that works usually very well for the Steam Deck. I've been pretty happy with the results of my fighting games on the Steam Deck, but the biggest issue I've come across is memory. As I said in my Steam Deck video, I bought the middle option with 256 gigabytes of memory and a 500 gigabyte SD card. Some of these games, like MK11, have become massive files and require considerable space that I simply do not want to take up on my Steam Deck. So that's my biggest gripe with some of my fighting games, since they are larger files. Even Mortal Kombat 10 is about 80 gigabytes, and Tekken 7 is about the same. Once you've downloaded a handful of these titles, that will take up all of the space on your Steam Deck. It's times like these where you need to pick and choose what you really want to install. When I first got my Steam Deck, I downloaded 2 games, Tekken 7 and Soul Calibur 6. I docked the deck and put it on my TV. The first thing I noticed is the game's resolution. These games are cranked up to max on my PC, and seeing the quality dip surprised me. The deck isn't the same power as a 3090, but it was noticeable. The idea of me being able to play these games on the go and put them out to a TV blew my mind. Through the Steam Deck, you can mess around with the settings and get better results. Handheld wise, these games continue to look excellent and play as expected. I am so excited to see Tekken 8 and the rumored MK12's performance on the Steam Deck in the future if it is also compatible. The most intriguing part of the Steam Deck for me was the possibility of being docked and having other controllers connect to this device like a PC. My favorite thing about the docking experience is the ability to use various controllers. For this video, especially one of my favorite controllers is fight sticks. Sure, I could do this on the Switch, but the Switch isn't a PC. I can plug in any of my fight sticks and have them work immediately, unlike my Switch where I would need to use a Brook converter or another method. On the topic of a Switch, let's talk about the load times. As someone who has played many fighting games, one of my biggest things I would catch is load times of fighting games and performance. The Steam Deck load times are incredible, especially if you download it on the NVMe. You will be flying through these menus and loading screens in no time. The Steam Deck has one awesome capability, and as I said in my 1-month review, the deck can run emulators and emulate older games. This opens up loads of new libraries of fighting games from the past and can fully be played on the Steam Deck. Seeing Tekken Tag Tournament, Soul Calibur 2, and more on this thing is hard to believe, but it works like the console counterpart. Some of the first games I loaded onto the deck were Tekken Tag and Tekken 5. I am so pleased with emulation and the ability to use the Steam Deck as an emulation portable fighting machine. It's simply a dream come true. My biggest hang-up with the Steam Deck is when the software has anti-cheat. This means that when cheat protection is built into the PC game, it must load up the anti-cheat before launching you into the game. Steam Deck will not launch if a game has this, and that sucks. I have found out there are workarounds to get a game like Dragon Ball FighterZ up and running online, but you can't even play the game online when you do. This was so disappointing, as I love Dragon Ball FighterZ so much. I have over 50 hours on the Switch version, and I was excited to have a bumped up portable version with fast load times and visuals, but unfortunately, with anti-cheat, this just isn't possible. This is the one aspect of the Steam Deck that continues to really bum me out. In conclusion, the Steam Deck still impresses me with its capabilities, but the anti-cheat thing sometimes gets in the way of some of my favorite games. Again, I know there is a workaround, but I'm trying to do this from somebody's perspective of a plug-and-play standpoint. The capabilities of the Steam Deck are still as strong as ever, and having it be docked and plugged in with your desired controllers for your fighting games is awesome. I love being able to hook up my Steam Deck to the TV, play Skullgirls, Ultra Street Fighter 4, Mortal Kombat 9, Injustice Gods Among Us, and so many more. It is awesome. And emulation lends its hand as a library extender and opens up so many more titles from the past that I'm almost overwhelmed with what to add next to my fighting game library. However, the Steam Deck continues to impress me with all of its capabilities and actually being a viable portable fighting game machine. And that's it for this episode today. I really hope you enjoyed it. The Valve Steam Deck still impresses me as a video game machine. And the fact that you can get a lot of classic fighting games and modern fighting games to run on this thing is really cool. The anti-cheat thing I think really sucks with this, especially as a fan of Dragon Ball FighterZ. I was really looking forward to getting a beefed up version, as I said in the video, but there are workarounds if you really want to do that. I'm not that interested in doing that. I'll just play it on my PC, or I'll continue to play it on my Switch. But there are some hiccups with this device, and it just happens. But overall, I'm very impressed with this machine as a fighting game machine. You can still use it with fight sticks. You can still use any controller you want, and you can have a load of fun with this device for fighting games. So let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have a fighting game that you love to play on the Steam Deck. And as always, my name is Brandon, and I will see you all next time.